Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Federation's Most Wanted, a Blake 7 podcast. I'm the Preacher 711, and normally I'm on a mission to seek, locate, and interview fans from across the Blake 7 fan community. But this time we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to try my hand at talking a little bit about some of the fan projects from around the Blake 7 fan community that have really caught my attention, I'm really excited by. And this audio, I'm going to be talking about the continuation novel that came out at the end of last year, November 2022, Vindictus. It's a post-Gouda Prime novel by Louella Richardson and Neil Shearer. Mild spoiler warning. I'm not going to go too deep into hopefully details of the book if you haven't read it, but there might be a little bit. So forgive me if I stray a little bit. There's been over the years a few post-Gouda Prime novels that have made it out commercially. There's been a lot of stuff in the fan space as well. Notable mentions are, Tony Attwood's Afterlife. Love it, hate it. It's up to you. And of course, the three Lucifer novels by Mr. Paul Darrow himself. Again, divided opinions. And I leave that up to yourself to see which side of the fence you sit on. But it's always tough to do a good post-Gouda Prime story, I think, when at the end of the series, all the heroes are gunned down. And certainly for me, I've always felt happy with the ending of the show, but always been more than happy to read more if it appears. So there's a bit of a contradiction there. Louella and Neil, they've appeared on the podcast before, so do go back and check out both the ones where they answered my 10 silly questions, but also where they did come on and talk about Vindictus as well on the Voice from the Podcast series too. They're no strangers to writing Blake 7 fiction. If you've read Cold Tedge's brilliant Thieves, Killers, Mercenaries and Psychopaths collection, you'll find a couple of stories by them in there that are also really, really good. So what's it all about? What's Vindictus all about? Well, like I say, it's post-Gouda Prime. It's set quite a few years after Gouda Prime. And one of the things when I first saw Neil and Louella's posts on Facebook and Twitter about it, one of the things that excited me was that I've always felt if there was a continuation, I would like it set sometime later, with older crewmates returning potentially. And I've always kind of liked the idea of some sort of, Blake relative, be it, I've talked before about, the son of the Blake clone, the daughter of the Blake clone, someone like that. So there could be a Blake. And I don't know if it's too big a spoiler. You can read it on the book blurb. But, I get a couple of my wishes in this one, and we also get a couple of returning main characters as well that may have survived the massacre on Gouda Prime. And what I really like about it is it's got a great pace to it. It's got a cracking pace. It's got a awful lot of sort of connective tissue back to the show. There's a lot of great callbacks. There's a lot of great language. There's a lot of references to places and people that we've encountered before. There's a wonderful sort of sinister villain behind the scenes, pulling the strings. There's the return of, as you'll see on the cover, of a great system deep space vehicle, the Vindictus of the title, as well. And I really enjoyed the writing of some of the returning characters. It really did for me capture that character. It can easily be done where something that's said, a line that's said by a character, you think, I can't really imagine one of the actors saying that, or I can't imagine the character doing that. Whereas I must say, I never felt that, even though, like I say, it's set some time after Gouda Prime, a good number of years past. So the characters that do return are a little bit older, a little bit longer in the tooth. But I could hear those voice actors now, recording it as an audio, and it would sound brilliant. It would sound absolutely great. And one of the things that was mentioned on the podcast when Neil and Louella came on, and if you're a follower of theirs on Twitter, you would have spotted this. They are actually working on an audio version. There are some YouTube little snippets out there as well, which is really exciting. That's really great. I can't wait for it. I hope it's been successful enough to spawn a sequel. It certainly ends setting up that there could be more to follow, which would be fantastic. I think it's like I say, it's pacey, it's good, it's got a good story. The new characters they introduce are very well rounded, and I think could carry off, a book on their own. And it does feel like we could, in the course of the narrative, easily shed the old guard. The old guard are there to sort of help these new characters grow and learn and adapt, and then to a degree disappear off. And I think that could work. I think a new novel with a new cast, a new set of characters to move the Blake 7 universe on would be a great thing. So do check it out. Vindictus. It's a great piece of work. I really did enjoy it. If you've not read any of their other stuff, like I say, check out Cult Edges, Thieves, Killers, Mercenaries, and Psychopaths. And they're in amongst that as well. So this has been a bit of a whistle stop chit chat. I'm going to talk a little bit next time, hopefully about some of the Cult Edge annuals as well. And of course, do check out past episodes of Federation's Most Wanted and our voice from the podcast. Take care, everybody. Great to speak to you again. See you all soon. Bye-bye.